The 365 Pro Wrestling Podcast.
365 Nation, it is January 10th. That means we ignite tonight at the Willow Point Lions Club in Campbell River. So I hope y'all can join me. The address is 2165 South Island Highway, right here in Campbell River. We got tickets at the door if you haven't got them yet. So make sure to check us out. Doors are at 7 p.m., bell time at 7:30. And today's interview is with a man who's helped me out so much in the last 18 years of pro wrestling. He's been a mentor, he's been a friend. I wrestled him, I've tagged with him. So his kid is born hours after my kid. He is none other than the first ever pure wrestling champion in PWA, the last ever pure wrestling champion in PWA, BigTicket, Reggie Marley. Alright everybody, so I got a special guest today, the one and only BigTicket, Reggie Marley. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
Amazing. It's beautiful out right now, so can't not but love that. But I have a question.
Coming over here though. To cut you off.
Exactly. But I have a question. This is the most serious question I'm going to ask all day. How many stairs do you climb a week?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I haven't done them since the last show, basically.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done nothing. I've been a bum. But before, it's like I had to look it up. So it's 660 up and down, and then I would do that on average 7 times. Like that, I would go right. Yeah. So, and then I would go at least 4 to 5 times a week.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So what got you hitting the stairs?
It was something I took up a few years back, and then after I hurt my knee, it was like I couldn't run, and it was just something most people say, I'm not going to do it. So then in my mind, well, I'm going to do it. And it didn't hurt my knee. So it just took a life of its own. And I'm like, man, I'm going to keep doing it. And it was fun.
Did you have a total for how many times a week you went up and down stairs?
The
workout.
The most I've ever done at one time was like 12. Wow. And that took me about an hour and 5 minutes. So
oh wow,
I wouldn't do that too often.
No, that's crazy. But I loved it. What stairwell is it? Like if I want to tell people to like go check this out, where can they find it? Like what's it called? It's like is it Elora? Is the Hamilton?
It's in Hamilton, obviously, but the Dundurn stairs. So you have a bunch of them, and the one that I do is Dundurn.
So you guys got to check that out. It's pretty crazy. He's always posting pictures about it, and I just thought it was pretty nuts. But on September 15th, 2018, you decided to have your last match and retire from pro wrestling. What led to that decision? Because you were going pretty strong up till then.
Well, behind the scenes, like for years, I always contemplate. Every few years, it'd be like, I'm done, man, I'm done. But leading to this one specifically was like, it's the amount of time you have, because our kids are the same. Well, your son and my daughter are the exact same age, right?
Yeah.
So they're getting more activities, and then we have a son. He's a few years younger, and just running out of time, man, between work and all their stuff. And then I happened to tear my meniscus like a few months earlier than that, and then it was just like, man, to be Reggie Marley takes a lot of effort. So it was just I don't got the time. Let's do this.
And it's crazy to me because you're still on top to me. I know you've been Reggie Marley for so long, and you've never shown like a downside to me. So when you said like I'm done, I knew your knee was banged up, and I know you had the kids and everything. I was still surprised.
Yeah, but you always, I don't know, man. It's a hard one because a lot of people were like, don't worry about it. You could just adjust your style. And it's like, you know what? Nah, man. If I can't be the way I am and feel the way I am, then I just can't do it no more. And that was it.
And I think with kids and everything, that's the best reason to be able to play ball with them, do whatever activities they want to do. Like you said, we only got so many hours in a day, so where are you going to allot that time?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And to go to the gym, I'm already getting up at like 3:45 in the morning. Like, man, you just can't. You can't do. Yeah, there's no time, basically.
So, were you stressing out? Because I was staying with Elian, and that man going into that match was so stressed out. He wanted to make sure you were happy with everything. He was just so stressed. Everything, he's like, I just want to make sure this guy has the greatest match ever. He's done so much for wrestling, so much for PWA, and he was just like, he was a mess going into that match. How were you?
You know what? I was so relaxed, man, because it's the end. And I was just thinking of just 1, 2, 3. That's all I worry about. Just hearing 1, 2, 3, it's done. I can exhale finally, and that was it. So the more stress was of people like, okay, this guy's coming. I gotta make sure, like my brother is coming from Michigan. So we're staying, blah, 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 like that. And dudes always texting me, emailing me, where can I get tickets? Like, that was the stuff that was my focus and stressing me out more than the match itself. The match is the match. It's going to be what it is. And it's more like, not necessarily for me, the match is the emotion of the fan. So I wasn't really worried about it in that sense, but it was more people getting organized to get there was my stress.
For sure. That's something you've always had stress about. Like, what's this happening here? What's going on here? Like, come on, guys, get your shit together. Like, you've always been on me for that. So having 10 more people on you for that, or 20 more people, that have been annoying. But yeah. The bell rings, Elian gets out of there, leaves you with the ring. You can tie the boots, put him in the middle as is tradition. That night you go and party. Not party, hang out with everybody who came to see you, hang out with good friends and some of the wrestlers, some of the fans. You hop in your vehicle, you drive home. What's on your mind? Because you got another hour and a bit to drive home. Like, what are you thinking then?
Well, at that point, I'm like, man, I got to get a cop. I never get coffee, but I got a flipping coffee on the way home. And driving home, it was like, because the history of going to Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo area for wrestling, for me, over the last 14 years of PWA was there. That was like the last drive. All the rush of emotions and thoughts of all the times I would boot up to remember when we were at the flea market?
Oh, I do indeed.
Yeah. So driving there, so my wife and I would go, and then we would stop at the liquor store halfway up, and then you're thinking about stuff like that. Oh yeah, I remember doing that. And then all them times weekly at the French club. Yeah. So I was, thinking about that. On the way home, I'd always stop the Thursday and get an A&W burger with Vanessa or what do you call it?
Kyle.
Yes, sorry. Brain freeze at the same time. I'd always stop and get an A&W burger every Thursday. So you're thinking stuff like that, and just like, man, this is finally over. I finally exhaled, and I'm good, man. That was all it was. The whole way home, just reflecting.
And it's pretty crazy because, to put it in perspective, we probably ran about 150 shows in that area, maybe closer to 200 in that area. So that's a lot of trips. That's a lot of times wrestling in that area. Like, yeah, I can only imagine. Did you sleep? Because I remember getting back. I stayed out a little later. I got home a little 4, and Cuba was wide awake. He couldn't sleep. He was just wild on the couch. He's like, yeah, listen to music, talking about it. I don't think we watched it. I don't think you wanted to watch it. So,
well, I didn't have a copy of it to watch anyways. But usually when I get home from a show, especially like the Kitchener ones, I'll sit at the computer and wait for Scully to upload the photos, so then I can kind of remember what happened and stuff. So that night, it was late. So by the time I got home, I think it was already uploaded. And I was just sitting there going through the photos, like, oh yeah, okay, I remember that. And the worst thing is, like, I was satisfied with the match and everything, but then you're like, well, maybe I coulda, shoulda, woulda. But that that was it, man. But it was such a high to finally live a dream too. Was all about retiring and leaving the boots in the ring. Like I always wanted to do that and go out. Excuse me, I'm joking. I want to go out as a heel too. So it was just like fantastic. That was the pinnacle to me of everything. It was just great. And I was up. Yeah, I'm still on that high from that match.
What was your favorite time in PWA? Like you said, we did weekly, we had elements, we had the last chapter. Like, what part did you like the most?
Well, that's the thing, because it was, yeah, it had those different eras, and each one was unique to its own, and I love them all. But I would say elements. If I have to pick one, elements was like, that was amazing. Because it had a combination of everything. It had, like, man, it was so good. If the people listening never experienced elements, it's a shame, because you had some crazy, insane matches at the end of the show, like Warhead with the weed whacker nonsense, and Bali and that flipping ladder when he went. Yeah, it was on You and I.
Yeah,
when he that flipping thing, man. I never got hurt, and he hit me with that, and the next day I couldn't even walk, and we were wrestling in Ingersoll, and I could barely even walk. Like, holy! But and the crowd, man, we had like 500 people one time.
It was crazy times. It was really good times there.
Oh my god! And then selling merch and stuff, making money. Like, this is insane. And then hanging out with all the boys in the back. Like that was the best time for me, just doing that.
Yeah, it was like a party, and this wasn't one of my original questions, but you're the king of merchology. You've been doing it for years, and I don't even like telling people that. They're like, what you told me about merch, because I'm like, screw these guys if they can't get it. But yeah, you helped me out huge in that department, PWA as well. What got you into merch? Just you got to make more money, right? You got to put more money in the gas tank and make it worthwhile.
Yeah, but the thing was, now, like, having flashbacks too. Remember the one time when we were up in the Sioux and with Bundy, and he made like $900 in pictures.
Yeah, I did.
Right. So I'm like, what the man? I'm getting paid this much. This dude just made, half the roster's pay in pictures. Like, what's going on? And I'm always thinking, and would say, what would Vince do? So what does Vince do? He sells merch. That's how he signed all these dudes and, licensed out their action figure shirts and this and that. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do like Vince, and I'm going to sell his stuff or make my own and sell it too. You know what I mean? Like, and it worked, man. We were making money hand over fist at one point. It was just ridiculous. So that's how it all came together like that. And then you're looking up discount stuff online, and then I found one T-shirt place, and you could design your shirts online, and it was just like took off from there, man. Like, boom, all right, I'm going crazy now. And then masks too, like flipping Rey Mysterio made me a lot of money, man. Rey Mysterio and John Cena selling his stuff. Like, come on, man, love it.
And it's crazy because at one point you had, I don't know how many guys below you selling your merchandise at shows they were on, and you weren't even there, and you were making more money than anybody. So it's pretty amazing. So you stayed in touch after you left. You've always stayed in touch. You've always been a mentor, helping me out, giving me advice. If I have something to ask you, you soundboard, whatever. But I don't think I phoned you. I texted you one day and I said, I need a favor. And I need one more match. It's just after 14 months since you retired, or it's going to be 14 months after you retired. I'm like, because it's going to be the last PWA event, and I was going to rebrand. What was going through your mind at that point?
I thought you're insane. Because the thing is too, what I always, you know how it is, them dudes with their retirement tours and stuff back in the day, right? And then they end up wrestling again like a year later or whatever, and they haven't stopped. It's like, come on, man. I didn't want to be like, I'm not saying it about a lot of guys, but some guys, Like if you ended because of injury and then you got better and you can go, cool. But then if you ended just to end, and you're charging people, your booking rate went up, and you're ripping people off, basically, and then you come back. Come on, man, that ain't me.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to
do it, but
I understood where you're coming from. That's the thing. But then I felt bad because a lot of dudes came to the show thinking, okay, it's your last one. I'm gonna come. So I didn't want to be that guy to go tell them again, like, yo, man, one more time, y'all gotta come. But then they were all supportive. They all wanted to come, and then more guys wanted to go to see the last one as the last one again. So it was like, I had to talk to the wife and the kids, and they're like, yeah, we want to see you one more time. I said, all right, cool, let's do it. And that's what happened, man. Let's go.
From the wrestler point of view, I like the last one better because Ruffy was there, Gazer was there, Chase was there, you had Juan there, you had more of the old crew there. And when you retired, it was kind of like we were switching, we were kind of changing around a little bit. So it wasn't the crew that, like, sure, you always been that crew, you are that crew, but it wasn't the old guy corner, the old guy's corner, whatever you want to call it.
The old school corner, man. But yeah, it's
corner.
True.
That's it.
This time around was like the perfect closure because, like, Ruff never had that retirement match. Jimmy's Jimmy. Gazer never had one, and it was like closure for all of us all at once, and that was cool in itself. And I know, like, talking to Ruff after, he was like, yeah, man, that was so amazing how we all ended out together like that. And it's been so staggered as it is, but that was like the official end, and it felt good. And that's it, man. It was perfect night.
That's what I thought. It was a really perfect night to see everyone there. And like you said, Ruff never had that last match. He was hurt, couldn't come back, and then we got him to come one last match. And Juan, Jimmy, he might do another one down the line. You never know with that guy, but I think that's his last match probably too. Jesse Jones is. He's not doing anything really right now, so that was like his last hurrah too. He might still do more. I'm not saying he won't, but there's just so many good guys who taught me and I grew up with in wrestling, all kind of calling it a night. So that was why I was more emotional than PWA ending, because it was like all my guys are kind of ending.
Yeah, it made sense. It was like the end of an era, like a legit end of the era, which was cool. Yeah, you can't get any better than that.
So on that hand, do you still think it was crazy to shut the doors of PWA, or a mistake? Do you think I could have done the 365 things as PWA, or do you think it was all right to end that chapter?
You know what? I lived through the Coke and Classic Coke controversy. So to me personally, I would have kept the PWA because I have an affinity to PWA and always will. And so, but I get your perspective too, the way you explain it to me. So I'm like, okay, I get that too. And then you change up the roster. The PWA, it's a difficult one, man. But I totally understand your thinking. But then I would be the type to think too that it would be cool to look back, 30 years from now and still hear PWA ran 50 years. That would be cool in itself too. So that's where I'm coming from in my thinking. The history books would be, it would be amazing to read about that, like ECCW in BC. It's gone through different ownership and everything, but they've still been around since when,
it's like 24 years old now.
Yeah, man, exactly. So I look at it like that, and it's all competition. So I'd rather have PWA last longer than them or anybody. So
for sure.
And changing the name, well, you just shut it down after 40. It only lasted 14 years. You know what I mean?
I hear that. And I think that was my biggest concern too, because I'm like, I like the history. I think it's a big deal. It's a big thing to me. But I'm like, I think I just need to change it to challenge myself.
Yeah, I get that too. Because, yeah, man, I totally get that too.
But I think NCW out of out of Quebec there. They've been running like 40, 50 years. And I look at their history too, and I think it's amazing. They've had so many guys through there, probably different ownership as well. But they hit 50 years. And I know like maybe like 5 years ago, I'm like, that'd be amazing to hit like 25 years. But we'll see what happens with the new brand. We're starting up 24th in Kitchener, 25th in Guelph. What are your thoughts going into the new 365 product? Are you liking seeing podcasts every day and like the weekly whisper coming back? Like that's something you're kind of on me about before, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. But with the podcast though, I find it kind of cool because even I'll flip it on while I'm driving or something and listen to one. It's the new way of doing things, I guess. I can't be that much of a dinosaur now, but it's interesting, man. It's just interesting. I know a lot of my friends that came to the last PWA show are excited for 365. They're like, okay, when is it? They're always bugging me. Are we going? I don't know, but I know they are.
Nice.
I'll probably, I don't know, but yeah, I'm interested to see the draw too. I'm always into, I always text you the day after. How'd you guys do? What was the draw? Blah, blah, blah. So, I'll be texting you the next day.
All right, man. Any like final thoughts? Where can people reach you for now? We'll do another one. We got to talk about Trinidad and Tobago and Venom and all that fun jazz because there's so many more stories left. But right now, where can people get in touch with you if they want to touch base, or do you check your fan mail anymore?
Yeah, man. Yeah, because it's all connected to the phone. Ridiculous. But I'm at on Facebook, Reggie Marley, whatever, and on Instagram and Twitter at PWA BigTicket, and I'm still PWA, so they're PWA BigTicket, and I'm always on Instagram taking pictures, I think I'm funny. I entertain myself, but yeah, man, that's how you get in touch with me.
All right. Thank you so much for everything for the last 14 years, for the next 14 years of helping me and guiding me. And we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, man. No problem. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening.
Thanks so much, man.
Once again, a huge thank you to the Big Ticket Reggie Marley for being on. He's been a mentor for so many years. He's done so many good things for PWA, for wrestling in general, and I just appreciate that. But remember, tonight is the night. 365 Pro Wrestling ignites at the Willow Point Lions Club in Campbell River. Tickets at 365prowrestling.com or at the door.